coffee.
Well, if no one's gonna drink this, maybe I'll just... Ugh, that's terrible. That's...
Good morning. It is Friday. It's the end of the darned week. Oh my God. What a
Friday,
week.
guys. It's also St.
All of our
Patrick's
thoughts go out to our good friend Keith, who's caring for his mother right now. A lot of things going on, a lot of moving pieces. And I am speaking to somebody right now that will potentially be taking over Tuesdays, because Brian's going to move to Thursday. It's better for him, more stable, and seems to be a magic day. And Brian's got that magic. He's got more magic than I've got. I'll tell you that. I love Brian. He's one of those people I can shut the hell up and just listen.
And that is rare.
Yeah. And it's not just because of that wee body accent he's got.
No, he's funny.
He's funny and he knows his shit. Especially when it comes to rock, man. Holy smokes.
And
So,
Asian TV series.
I don't know if Christian is here, but Christian, I tried sending you your artwork last night, and I'm trying to send it right now to you, Christian DeLorme. So check your email. We have Orlando Dragon. He's here. Who is that?
Oh, he was here Monday, I think. Monday.
Is this a new person, or is this somebody changing their name?
I think
Monday
it's
or
the first time
Tuesday.
I've seen that name.
Well, nice to meet you, Orlando. Welcome to the show that's just like Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
We have Midnight's Edge in the chat.
Tom is in the chat.
Who is?
Tom.
Tom. Oh, jeez, Tom.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that.
Don't I see enough of him on Twitter? Morning, Tom. How you doing, buddy? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're having a good Friday, man. Love you guys. Tom has a magic penis. That's awesome.
Yeah, we really needed to know that.
He makes a girl believe that he's really making love to her, but it's just sleight of hand. It's not real. He's awake, he says. That's good to hear. Yes, and happy St. Patty's Day. I actually got online this morning before I got out of bed to check out how things are going in Dublin today in Ireland. And they're celebrating the shit out of St. Patty's Day. It is now apparently as popular, if more popular, in Ireland to wear green. So I'm like, okay. And you know what? I'm not going to wear green. I'm Irish. I don't have to worry about it. People go, aren't you worried about getting pinched? I'm like, no, I'm alone. Nobody's going to pinch me. It's not like school anymore, where I kind of craved it. Oh, I forgot to wear green. Morning announcements. Gerry is not wearing green. Pinch away. As Brian would say, diddly 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 potatoes. That's right.
What?
Brian, 70s rock fan. Diddly 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 potatoes. I will teach you some Irish this morning.
No.
Does the meal come with potatoes? There you go. That's Irish. Does the beer come with potatoes? Does the room come with potatoes? And finally, does the bride come with potatoes? And if you don't know what that is, that's from Mike Nesmith's Television Parts TV series from back in the 80s.
I thought it was just you being weird.
No. My brain works like that character from, I forgot the name of the show. John Landis produced it back in the 90s, where he was so raised around television that he would have responses to people in his head based on things from movies and TV shows. And I'm like, oh God, welcome to my life. Dream On HBO.
I'm over here making comments, and I realized that I had the microphone set on the wrong thing.
Ah. She's not taking any chances today. Penny's not. So we're gonna slip in a little extra. That's what she said. No, that's what he said. And talk a little bit about Mandalorian, because I've been watching a new season, and I got to tell you that I'm getting a lot of like Tom blasted the first episode. I mean, I wouldn't say blasted it, but his comments were true. He's accurate. It's odd to start your season off with a narrative driven story like that, where it's setting stuff up rather than just telling a story. It's establishing what's going to happen over the season. And so the only action you get in the first episode is the scene on the planet they're on. I don't even remember what the name of the planet is, where they're having a Mandalorian ceremony of a watch Mandalorian celebration, because a young man's becoming a Mandalorian, getting his helmet. And then they get attacked by a giant alligator crocodile turtle.
The Mythosaur.
Yeah, I think the production art looked cooler than the actual monster in the episode. I mean, it's a cool scene, don't get me wrong, but when you get to the end of the show, they always show the production art. And I'm like, oh, that looks so much cooler than what we got. But it's a cool scene. It's the only action scene in episode 1. Episode 1 is all about establishing his relationships that are going to be important this season. So he does quick, this is going to sound perverted again, slipping in and out real quick from locations. I just said it. You don't get to call phrasing when I said I'm going to be phrasing here.
He's going to
I call phrasing everything every time I want.
Whatever. Shut up, Martin.
I won't.
What I found a bit weird is that at first you think it's a flashback to his childhood, but it's not. That confused me a bit.
Says Lord Gerry will be instituting prima nocta this St. Patrick's Day. And Penny says that she's a quarter Irish. I immediately go, which quarter?
Jesus.
So, like, I'm half Irish. I'll go, which half? Weird questions that I will ask you in real life that will make you go, what? Oh, man. And I salute you too, Tom. I salute you too. Let's say good morning to everybody. We've got Penny, of course. Anima Confusa is here in the show. D. Bud Martin, the Orlando Dragon. Let's see. Alex Moore is here. John Ostains, Midnight's Edge After Dark. Tom is here. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. Oh, your temper is the Irish temper.
Why are
I'll
you
tell
putting
you
me
what.
on the list, Martin?
You know, as much as gingers are my kryptonite, when I find out that they're Irish, I'm very hesitant because Irish girls scare the shit out of me. And I have a story as to why. Anima knows the story.
Yeah, so I better not go find out my roots.
They scare the shit out of me. I consider Irish women very dangerous.
I might have Irish roots. I mean,
Up
knows?
here?
No.
So, diddly potatoes. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. But as I was saying, getting into The Mandalorian, I'm a big fan of the show. I don't think it's the greatest Star Wars, but it is Star Wars. I don't care what anybody says. It actually, when you watch it, you actually sense the DNA in it. I'm not happy over certain decisions that were made. So while those decisions are still intact, I will not subscribe to Disney Channel until Gina Carano is brought back and given back her role. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, not while Kathleen Kennedy is there. But I posted, because I watched Coach, with Echo Base last night and commented. They liked my comment, what I said, which was, look, even when Kennedy is gone, this is still owned by Disney. So all those hopes that everybody has that they're going to undo the sequels is not going to happen while Disney owns them. It's just not going to happen. You may as well shit in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up first, because it's absolutely pointless to try that while Disney owns them. While Disney has stake in those sequel films, it's just not going to happen that way. And so we either take what we can get when it's good or just reject it completely and wholly. And I get it when people do. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. On the other hand, I enjoy Mandalorian. I think Boba Fett would have been good if Jon Favreau actually had run it. But he didn't run it. It was run by the Lucas Writer Group and Kathleen Kennedy. And he was absolutely thrown under the bus with it.
I'm really into The Mandalorian now. We've been binging it for the past 2 or 3 days because I had to catch up. But because Andor disappointed me. It didn't feel like Star Wars. I dropped out after like 2 or 3 episodes. But
I'm going to say that
I'm hooked.
It's dark Star Wars. It is, because there's got to be a dark aspect to Star Wars. And that's Andor. But it's not my cup of tea.
May I say something about that? This Dark Star Wars. I know we're reviewing the episode 1 from Mandalorian, but the last one, 3rd episode, man, that shit went dark.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of heavy stuff in here, and you can always tell when Favreau is leading the story and when Filoni is. Filoni has a tendency of making it very 4th grade level writing. When Favreau is more in charge, you get more depth to it. Am I saying that Favreau's a better writer than Filoni? Yes, I am. I'm saying that I would absolutely die on that hill. That is a hill worth dying on, because I will defend Favreau's writing any day of the week when he actually is the one writing it. And we have gotten some lies from Kathleen Kennedy with the Book of Boba Fett, showing him fully in charge of that show when he wasn't. He walked away from it. and damn near quit over it because of what they did. And ended up they had to go to him to save it with the Mandalorian episodes that were in that season. Ironic, don't you think? I can never get enough grumpy old men movie references. Oh, hell yeah. I love that. God. Burgess Meredith killed it in that movie. Absolutely. And the pranks between Mathau's character and Lemon's character were great and remind me of when I was living with Mac. You know, he lived with us for years. He was Zoe's uncle, you know, and constantly pranking each other. And I think he quit when he couldn't get in his bedroom because of what I did to him. I made him. He had to go to maintenance to get a ladder and climb up 3 stories to get in the window, break into the window of his apartment in order to get into the room. Because I'm a dick. And I kept going, everything okay, Mac? You need any help? No, everything's fine. Couldn't get that door open. So, is it the potatoes that scare you about Irish women? No.
Oh, we have a breach.
No. Oh, and their back doors.
Yeah.
No. I've told this story on here before. The Dublin Zoo story in Ireland and what the gorilla was doing and the girls just giggling and cackling at it while it's like doing really crazy stuff that would scare me. It did scare me. And them cackling at what the gorilla was doing, the male gorilla, the silverback, made me realize that Irish girls are crazy. There's something wrong with them. Something wrong with them. So let's get to this video here for the breach. Boom. Open your back door, baby. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm playing. So,
You teaser.
So the episode, like I said, opens with that scene, and that's the only action you get for the whole episode. So let's do the breakdown. Do you have notes on this one?
No, I told you, Mandalorian is on you.
All right. Anybody else saw it?
Yes, there's another action scene.
I don't recall.
Oh yeah, there are 2 more, in fact.
All right, then you lead the way.
Oh, well, they do a little recap with an exposition between Mando and the armorer. She explained to him that
That's
again,
right.
for the second time in the same episode, that he has to bath in the waters. So he decides to get some help because they all believe the planet is lethally toxic. So he
Because
went
that's
back
what
to,
the Empire says. The Empire is
Yeah.
when it released that, as I recall.
So he decides to go back to Navarro for looking for the remains of IG-11 in order to use him like a probe, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. And that's where Apollo Creed, Carl Weathers.
Yeah, he offers a free shot for the title.
Well, it's I love the fact that actually in season 2, as I recall, when Mando returns to the planet, we already see changes. And a lot of people don't notice because he doesn't comment on it that there's a statue in the middle of the square for IG-11.
Or 11, yeah.
And they don't talk about it, but it's there in the background. I pointed it out to Anima. I said, look, it's right there. He walks by and nobody says anything. And they go right into the school because that's the scene with Grogu and the cookies, which is great. He's like begging with those adorable eyes, give me some cookies. And the kid's like, no. So he takes them, the thieving little shit. I'll use the Force.
Could be worse.
And it leads up to a great aquamarine vomit scene later. After a chase scene, and baby's just hands up like a kid on a roller coaster, enjoying himself. And finally, it comes to the end of the ride, and he goes, goop comes out of his mouth. Mando's like, oh, that's not good. But this time they mention, and he wants IG-11 to be brought back, and they're like, his processor was destroyed. And he goes, I need him. And why? Because he wants to go to Mandalore, and he wants to go to
Well,
The Mines of Mandalore.
Mines of Mandalore, so he can go into the waters and be redeemed.
but before that conversation happens, there's another one that I think it could be have some weight by the end of series. That it is when Griff Karga he tells to Dean, he explains the changes and why the changes has happened, how the economy is flourishing, and he offers him a villa and a job.
Yeah, because the marshal is gone. She's off on a mission. She joined the Alliance, or what do they call themselves now?
New
Ring-
Republic.
The New
The
Republic.
new-
She's joined the New Republic, and because they offered her a gig in season 2.
Yeah, as a ranger. Well, then when they go for a stroll to see the statue of IG-11, they find a group of pirates that were once acquaintance of.
And they want to drink in the
Griff.
bar that's no longer a bar. It's been a
Yeah.
school since season 2. Because once again, they established that in last season. And they're like, but we want to have a drink in there. It's like, that's not going to happen. And it's a showdown between Carl Weathers' character and Mando. And I don't think anybody else was involved. That was it. Was
No.
anybody else? It was just those two. And
Those two.
Carl Weathers' character draws down, and they shoot guns out of people's hands. And you think that's the end of it, but no. They're forced to kill everybody but the one guy, and he leaves. And of course, that's going to plant the seed for problems this season with the pirates of Penzance.
And I love that scene. The way that Mando shoots from the hip like a cowboy.
I will say that there's another scene that we skipped over, which is when they're in the pod flying in hyperspace, and you see the whales creatures, which are commonplace in the expanded universe. So we're actually, once again, Jon Favreau's pulling stuff in from the expanded universe into the show. And that Grogu up in the droid dome is able to see these things. And they're skimming hyperspace. It's really a cool shot.
I saw those whales for the first time when on Rebels, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was where I saw it too. Yeah. I do want to tell you that I love the one thing about them shooting this on the round, because instead of using green screen, now the light interacts with the props. So when they're in that ship flying, they're not only being lit by hyperspace. Hyperspace is reflecting off the glass, and it's not an effect. It's actually in camera, and it's beautiful. Do you guys not find that gorgeous to look at?
Hyperspace?
When they're traveling through hyperspace, the way it interacts with the cockpit lens and the dome over Grogu's section, seeing the screens, the movement of hyperspace on them is really beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Are you on crack? What's going on? Nobody's responding.
I'm a little busy. But
Oh, okay. There are two other people. Nobody's responding to my comment. I guess I'm just talking to the chat.
but, I don't know. I can talk for them.
I
But,
really like
it's,
it.
it's nice. It adds one more layer of realism and immersion.
Here you go, right here.
Yeah.
And it just looks so beautiful. And what's really interesting in this shot is even the engine, the way it's lit, that's not an effect done later. That's done in camera. That's part of the screen in the background, in the round, and the angle that they shoot at. It's just something else to behold. And of course, you know, he goes up there to fall asleep after he sees the whale, and he's just adorable. And then they're there on the planet. We can see the city has grown outward, upward. They're getting their version of little skyscrapers built.
He should install a turret for Grogu in that dome.
Baby Grogu. I got mine. So it's a good scene, and like you said, they have their little shootout. This is another action scene that takes place. There's the statue, which they showed in the previous season, but nobody commented on. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, it's actually not a statue. It's part of it's a statue, but part of it's actually the remains of IG-11.
What was left of him, yeah.
Which, in my opinion, there are too many remains. That was a fucking thermal detonator that went off in his chest.
Yep.
So it's you know, basically, like I said, this is one of those setup episodes. There's a whole lot of pushing of what's going to come, rather than a lot of action. So this is technically, you know, as Tom pointed out, not a lot happens in this episode. That's kind of true. And in the fact that there's not a lot of action and stuff happening. Instead, it's just simply setting up the story for the season. We get to find out where the Marshal is, you know, Gina Carano's character. We also see his relationship with, what's her name? The leader of the Mandalorians.
Dude, they have paved
Oh,
streets.
here's
at
the shoot.
last.
Bo-Katan Kryze.
Bo-Katan, yeah. And Bo-Katan's a badass character, and I really like the way her character arc is happening right now. She has basically saved Mando like multiple times, starting all the way when they first met on that Aqua planet, where he had to drop off the frog lady.
For the people who doesn't know and maybe thinks, oh, this is the bestest ever. No. If you think about it, Din is like your average Mandalorian. He's not an Excel Mandalorian. Meanwhile, Bo-Katan, she has a very long history as a warrior.
She has a lot of combat behind her.
And has been part of elite groups and has been trained by elites.
I mean, she's been around for a while, and of course up there you can see they took the body. What was actually left? The rest of this is statue. What they took was what was remained of his body, and it leads to a crazy scene, like right out of the Terminator. Are you Sarah Connor? And so they're like, let's turn him back on, and he goes back to his primary orders program and kill everything. So he goes into straight up attack mode on Grogu, and I don't know what Mando was thinking was going to happen. And of course, I thought that was funny that his statue gets used as a weapon. That the droid that was in there, protocol droid, pushes the bust down to crush IG-11. And he's like, well, I need him. Can you fix him? Blah, blah, blah. But fact is, he's got to go, and he's got to find something else. And there's poor Grogu. So now they meet these miniature characters and this is another connection to the sequel trilogy. Because that's the character it's in, I think the last one.
The same species. Yes, Babu Frik.
So I'm like, you know, I keep telling people, I told Echo Base last night, I said, you know, look, man, they're not going to write it off. John's got marching orders. No matter how much he and Kathleen Kennedy don't like each other, he's got to follow the rules. And I got to be honest, even after she's gone, Disney has invested way too much money into this shit. They have not made any money off Star Wars yet.
And I'm not going to lie, I like these little guys.
Oh, they're fun. And I like this scene because Grogu picks one up and wants to hug it. And it's like, let go of me. There he goes. There he goes. I got one. Oh, man. It's a fun show. I thoroughly enjoyed the comedy. I like the way they do the humor in this show. And Anima knows I'm a big fan of Grogu. I love that kid.
Oh,
And
he's melting over Grogu.
it's in this episode right here where we finally get an explanation how these work, the monitors on this ship work. Because back in the prequel trilogy, it's never explained, and he actually gives an explanation of how they work. And then he has his run-in with the pirates, who are none too happy with him. And which is too bad because he outflies him and outfights him here.
Well, he has the ship to do it.
Yeah, Grogu.
He enjoys combat.
The kid just saw me. Whee!
Yeah, he loves it.
Just like little Boba. Don't you remember when
I
they were
really did not like this character.
the creature from the swamp?
I did not like him. You know, meh. But I like the pirate ship itself, but I just thought he was like, meh.
There's worse. Just saying, ice spiders.
And of course, this is a lot like the medical droid from Empire. Very similar to the droid from Rogue One.
Yeah. And the head reminds me of the droid on Jabba's palace.
Yeah, again, same type model. Because the first time we saw it was in Empire, and it's in charge of the medical bay. And then we see it again, the same type of droid used in Jabba's palace, and then he's in charge of whether a droid gets broken up or gets made into a slave. And that is, the Naboo fighter is really a pretty fighter. I had a model kit for years, got stolen. Just a beautiful one. It was an expensive one too. It had chrome. It was metal, all metal. And it was about like that big. It's about a little over a foot long.
Yeah. Needless to say, Bo-Katan's not going to be happy to see him.
Bo-Katan is just not happy, period, right now.
Yeah.
I have a castle and a kingdom and nobody in it. So I'm going to pout a lot.
She's whiny as fuck. Sorry.
Oh, she is. She is. She is so pissy and moany here. And it causes a great moment, you know, where he walks away and he just shakes his head.
Oh, yeah, that cracked me up.
I went back and watched it like multiple times. And I'm like, man, the character is really shaking his head here. He's really annoyed with Bo-Katan.
Well, nobody will follow her because he doesn't have the Darksaber.
Even worse, she's seen like as a failed leader.
Yeah.
And the cause of why the Empire destroyed their planet. So she has to pull something very, very big, if you know what I mean, to get her street cred.
Yep. Absolutely. So he meets with her, and it doesn't go well. It doesn't go well at all. Because he's trying to go to Mandalore, and she's like, you know, everything you believe is bull. None of it's true. And she's actually one of them that says that it's not toxic.
Yeah, she said it's not toxic, but There's nothing there.
I don't know what you expect to find there, but what
Well,
you're looking for is not there.
She has a good line. It's your cult gave up on Mandalore long before the
Yeah,
purge.
I love
Where
that.
were you then?
So, and that's the end of the episode. It's a setup episode for what's going to be coming this season. Directed by Rick Famuyiwa. And I showed Anima that a lot of the director producers are in the show as the X-Wing pilots.
Yeah.
That is so. That is how
three
you get
of-
a good show. Get fans to it. So,
Yeah, one of them is actually an actor, the Asian actor. He was on that Kim's Convenience, and he plays one of the lead officer. He's the one who offers Gina Carano's character the job of working with them.
Wasn't he the one that saves Mando and Grogu when they crash on the ice planet?
Anima's favorite episode
oh, fuck you.
with those ice spiders.
We watched that last night. Oh my god, I couldn't watch half of it.
I said, this is going to be your favorite. Because she already has problems with anything that's even squid or spider-like. And then that came on, and she's like, oh, no. I'm like, yeah, it's
Spiders are
happening.
just
It's happening. It's happening. And, but you know what? Despite the fact that it's not a very eventful episode, it sets up stuff, and so it's not bad. It's a solid
okay.
episode.
It's the first one.
Got a lot going on in it, a lot of moving parts, and I think that where it's going, I'm interested. I'm interested to see where it's heading.
And now, Mando has a new enemy, the pirates.
The pirates.
Mhm.
That's right.
For that, you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
There you go. He's got Captain Quint pissed at him. So now we can move into 1923. Gosh, where do we start, baby? I'm sure you got notes on this one.
Of course. Well, we left off with a big shootout. Sheep guys against the cowboys.
Is Harrison Ford dead? We find out this episode.
We don't know, because we start with her cleaning the kitchen, and then she goes out and lies down in the grass and just screams. And we don't know, are they alive or not, Elizabeth and Jacob. And they want to report it to the sheriff, but she's not having it because nobody must know what happened. So she's making it look like he went away to take care of business, because nobody must know
how close to death he is. Yep.
Yeah, that too. Emma is digging a grave for her husband, and the cowboys go to help her. And then finally, Kara goes to check on Elizabeth, so we know that Elizabeth is alive still, but she has a fever. And then she goes to check in on Jacob, and we know, like, he's still alive, but barely hanging in there. So it's really quite a dark start to the episode. While Spencer and Alexandra, it's a complete contrast. They go on a boat trip. They're having a romantic time together. They're really... Oh, fuck, Kitty. Sorry.
Rocket Kitty.
Yeah, she's crazy. Spencer's finally happy again. Or beginning to be happy. Back in America, Banner plans to raise an army to go against the cattle farmers. And he's trying to sell Yellowstone because he knows the women run it now and they won't be able to. So he's pretty sure that he will get his hands on that ranch, not farm, so he can sell it. They also steal half the herd of cattle from not just Yellowstones, basically half the herd that they put up in the mountains. So he can have money to buy an army. Elizabeth's mother, I think that's Emma, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Emma. She wants to take her back east because the West is too dangerous and it's not a place for her to be while she's healing. And she wants to call off the marriage and everything. And Kara steps in and says that this is her decision to make. She's an adult. If she wants to stay, she can stay. If she wants to leave, she can leave. And of course, Elizabeth wants to stay. So Emma is sent off.
John Ostane's calls you out, says that Emma blames her first F-bomb on the cat.
Oh, no. I dropped the first one a while ago. I think it's been 3 now. We need Dom to count.
You're cussing worse than me now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What
I
have
have no
you
filter.
done to that woman?
Oh,
I just released the inner...
Nothing that wasn't there already, Martin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just released it.
Yeah.
So she's the Kraken.
Yeah, release the Kraken.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, Spencer is, for the first time, probably in his adult life, is in a good mood this episode.
Also because, he's not reading the letters, as we find out at the end. So he has
He's
no
not been
idea what's
reading them.
going on back home. Because Kara sent him a letter, so she believes that he's coming home, as does Jacob, because she goes to talk to him about the situation, and he tells her, let go of the cattle, don't do anything until Spencer comes back. Because they believe he's on his way, and he doesn't even know. What I really like is that she tells him, I forbid you to die. And he says, don't worry, I'm too stubborn. I won't. I love the chemistry between Kara and Jacob. They've been married forever and they're still so in love. It's beautiful.
It's a comfortable thing.
Yeah, people complain about, what's it called? Complacency and comfort. And it's, that's murder for a relationship. Like, no, it is in fact the thing that gets you through. If you're not comfortable with each other, and that's one thing I think Taylor Sheridan does a wonderful job of writing is the dynamics of realistic, believable relationships. And even when we get into the future with Yellowstone, and we see the relationship between Beth and what's his name?
I forgot.
Cole Hauser's character. Their dynamic is like nobody can survive on that crazy dynamic for the first 3 seasons. Because and he's like, this shit's got to settle down. And just as soon as you think it's going to settle down, she gets into a bar fight and is fighting for her freedom by this last season. It's like, good God. All because a young woman basically threatened her, I'll take your man. And she's like, I don't think you want to do that. I don't think that's a smart move. And he warns her, you don't know what you're tangling with here. And Beth lets it out. And next thing you know, she's in all kinds of legal trouble over that assault. They work it out eventually, but I don't know. This latest season is establishing that somebody's going to die. Someone's going to murder somebody in that family. And I have my predictions. So, back to 1923, again, with the relationship between Jake and Helen Mirren's character. I love that.
Karen. Oh, yeah.
You're a great character.
We get these lovely everyday life scenes between the two of them and the banter they have going on. It's lovely. It is so good. But we're about to get dark because speaking of murder, at the boarding school, shit is hitting the fan because the sister bullies a girl and Tiana snaps again. And she gets punished this time. She gets her hair cut off and put in a tub and scrubbed with wire
brush.
And they make her agree to it. She doesn't know what she's agreeing to. They make her agree to have the sin washed off of her, but she doesn't know what she's in for. And then they scrub her with wire brushes. So that night, she packs up her stuff, she murders the nuns, and she runs away.
She murders them.
Oh, yeah. Brutally.
She chokes one to death, and she beats the other one to death in their beds.
Yeah.
So you might say she had none of that.
Yeah. I guess that would be one way of putting it. Yeah.
Look a little twisted, John.
Just when everybody thinks he's asleep, He comes up with things like that.
Hey, Bush.
Hi, Bush.
Welcome.
Boosh is here. What's up, man?
No, it doesn't.
I don't know what to say to you, Bush.
Don't do that.
Oh man. So we going?
Bush killed the mood. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Show's done. Thanks, Bush.
Not even at the commercial break, and it's already over.
And happy St. Patty's Day to you too, brother.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day.
Diddly 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 potato.
Not only does he does it, but he gloats about it.
You have no idea what a broken panel looks like. Go back and watch the last show we did on House of the Dragon. That is how you break the panel. Because Gerry broke us all. He broke Keith and he broke me. That was a fun show. Shut up, cat. Okay, back to the show. Kara is going to the monthly meeting that the cattle guys have, and telling everybody that Jacob's gone to Wyoming because of the cattle thieves, to take care of that. And they also kill people now, so we need to act on this and establish a police force for this. And she forged a signature for that too, so she has the right to call for that. Banner tries to call her out as a liar, but she is not having his BS anymore. Because she believes that Spencer is on his way back, and she also knows that if she tells people what he has done, Banner, that he's finished. They kind of hold each other at gunpoint here. It's a difficult situation they're having. And then we cut to Spencer and Alexandra, and they are, like I said, having a romantic time, and she finds Kara's letters. First, she thinks it's a lover, of course, but he tells her, no, it's my aunt, and she basically raised me like a mother. And she wants to know why he didn't read the letters. And he said at first he couldn't, and then he felt bad because he hadn't for so long. It's like 2 years worth of letters that we have there. So she pours him a drink and says, yeah, it's time to face your demons, and let's read the letters. So she's reading the letters to him, and at first it's hard, and she wants to stop, but he's like, no, go on. And they go through all of them, and they have fun until they reach the last one. Because that's the letter telling him about the war that's going on and that he needs to go home. And that's how we end the episode. Oh, yeah, he asks her the date of the letter, and she says, it's been sent 3 months ago. So he's way late.
Yeah, to say the least. We got another breach, so I gotta play another video. Which one should I play? I'll do. Well, no, I won't do that one. I'll do this one. Marine Corps. No, this one.
What did I just tell you? Who's the pitcher? Who's the catcher?
You're the pitcher and the catcher. You're the pitcher and the catcher. See?
There you go. So let's see. Where are we at now? So we're done with that episode. Wow, we got through 2 shows in 1 hour. That's not bad. Thank you for recommendation, but you should have said TAPS first. Far as I know, it was a good fundraiser for ACVAL. ACVAL is a good organization that focuses primarily on PTSD for military veterans. And but TAPS, of course, is one of them that we have in our own commercial break, which will be coming up here in a few minutes. And a great organization. Wasn't even thinking the back down thing.
You were. Don't lie, Bush.
It's ingrained now.
Is it? Is it ingrained?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just checking, making sure. So it's really ingrained.
It's like a disease.
So
It's like the fungus from The Last of Us. It just gets in there. And
where's Monkey at?
Oh,
haven't
let's not
seen it.
talk about that series. It's
Yeah. Well, look, I still find the idea of the fungus thing very interesting. I just don't think the show's very good. I don't care what anybody says.
it's not.
I like it.
I love it when people go, God, Gerry, what are you talking about? It's written so well. And I'm like,
No, it just
You know,
isn't.
no, it's not. I think that you get tricked by really good visual effects and good acting, and you can be tricked into thinking you're watching something really good when it's really not. And for me, it's always going to be because I'll go into it. I talk about themes all the time. Themes are really important. You can write a good story without a plot. You don't need a plot, but you need themes. Themes are important because they're the building blocks. They're the DNA of constructing a good story, and it needs to be about something. What the fuck is that?
Sorry, that was a
My one
really
F-bomb
loud
is just
car.
over the sounds behind you. Jesus
Sorry.
Christ. What the hell was I saying? Themes. So, themes are essential to the building blocks to a good story. And it's either, simple ones, basic ones, man versus self, man versus man. It could be woman. It's just the object of a human versus human. When they say man, they mean not the gender, but a human. So man versus man versus self, man versus nature, man versus, and it's ongoing. There are multiple kinds of themes that you can put into a story. And these are the basic building blocks for writing a good story. Wait, what's this? Yeah, I don't know where he's at, dude. I'm so used to him being here. When he's not here, it's really it's weird. There's like a vacuum. But Wounded Warrior Project started so well. My father and I both donated. Hey, I've got friends from Wounded Warrior Project.
We had one of them
was, yeah, he's a good friend of mine. And I think it still does a lot of good. And he is a wounded warrior who benefited from Wounded Warrior Project. And he got the shit shot out of him.
Oh, I can't wait to have him back. His story's intense.
Mike is just a great guy, man. Severely wounded in combat. And so there's a lot of negativity about stuff that's happened with him, but I think overall it's still done some good. But ACVAL and TAPS in particular really focuses not just on the veteran, but the family. And I like that about TAPS. I think TAPS has stepped up and is probably one of the best ones going right now for helping with the families.
It's important too.
And I've always tried to take part in Toys for Tots. I haven't done it in over a decade. But I used to really like Blade Zone. Blade Zone used to, Blade Runner Fan Club. We used to do a lot of Toys for Tots stuff around the end of the year. And even with Blade Zone, we helped get money for Toys for Tots. Love that organization. Great group. Marine Corps, Semper Fi. Oh. And
we ought to do some fundraiser streams this year for him then.
We should, but we need to have somebody to work with. And we got to have somebody directly working with us. So they're the ones collecting. I don't want to collect for anybody because there's too many risks of something going wrong with that. And you don't ever want to be on the receiving end of a screw up on collecting charitable funds.
Yeah.
I don't. So no, okay. I just read your message, Anima. So, but anyway, we're now moving into the first commercial break. I don't want to start the next episode or the next segment too early. So, anybody got any last thoughts before we go to commercial break on this latest or today's episode about 1923 or Mandalorian? John,
No.
Martin?
Yeah,
Nope.
I think Mandalorian is getting better throughout the season. I mean, it started kind of weak, but the later episodes are getting better.
Once again, the weakness that we're talking about is it's like a transitional episode, but they do it right up front, where they're just setting stuff up. So not a lot happens. And so therefore I get the complaint, but I see what the episode actually is. And so I defend it for that reason. No, it's not Chanel today. It is Bill. Bill is backstage hacking up a lung. He got con crud while he was there at the big Roswell convention. And he was surrounded by sick people on the flight, like people next to him, in front of him, coughing. Yeah, you're breathing in that cough. You're breathing it in. It's like, yeah, you're going to get sick. And he got sick. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, we've all been there with the con crud.
Oh, man. But, hey, there we are. We're at the 56-minute mark. Bill, take us away, man.
Hi, guys. This is Gerry from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
A birthday without her mom. An anniversary without her husband. Her wedding day without her dad. These are the days when military families feel it most of all. The loss of their soldier, their sailor, their airman, their Marine, their Coast Guardsman. Families never forget their loved ones lost to war or illness or suicide. Families never forget. And neither do we. We are TAPS, the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. We provide resources, support, and comfort to heal the hearts and meet the needs of grieving military families, all at no cost to them. Your generosity can make an enormous difference in the lives of the families of our fallen military heroes. Our military families need to know they are not alone and they are not forgotten. Show them your support at taps.org.
Are we alone in the universe? The most important question facing humanity is on the verge of being settled once and for all. Mutual UFO Network has been at the forefront of this journey for nearly 50 years. Our members worldwide are dedicated to the research, documentation, and awareness that will shape the future of humanity. Won't you join us?
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow. We survived. Welcome back from the commercial break. Now for some more Pop Culture Minefield on KGRA.
Hey, we survived. Hey, yeah.
Hey.
Woo! I'm Grogu. Woo! Anyway, welcome back to the second hour. And now we're going to get into another... look, my phone's ringing. Who would call me in the middle of a show?
Probably
Doctor's
the doctor.
office.
Josh Becker.
Oh,
Is he calling from Canada?
No, he's... I guess Danny's not working with him now on the website. And so he's wanting me to do it. And I'm like, well, I don't know how I'm going to do it. So, but anyway, I'll talk to him, but not during the show.
Yeah.
Blame Nick Weiser for the Gerry. Yeah. Well, actually, you know, I can't remember who actually did that the first time. It was not Nick. It was somebody else. I think it was Tickle Trunk. Mr. Tickle Trunk started it because
he did? Really?
Mr. Tickletrunk did. He was spelling it Gerry. And it's because my sister calls me that, Luann, Gerry. And she always has. She is that not quite a Brooklyn accent. She was raised by the Abrams, living with the Abrams for a while in New York, and a prominent Jewish family in New York. And so she picked up, she was right at that age where the accent kicked in. And so she says funny things like, "Don't forget to give me a phone call." She says it just like that. It's really funny. Now, Gerry. So, because I'm always saying shit to her that annoys her.
Are you just like making fun of people's accents?
Well, it's a funny accent because she was mostly raised in Arizona, but she was in New York during those formative years, and so the accent kicked in. And she's the only member of the family with that accent. Yeah, Mr. Tickletrunk is the first one to spell it and technically say it during a stream, calling me Gerry. And that was absolutely from that story about my sister, talking about how she messes up my name. And it's just one of those funny little anecdotal things.
It's not short. It's Gerry. That's all it is.
My name actually does come from something. It's the original pronunciation of Gerard. It's not Gerard, it's Gerard. And Gerald. And for some reason, somewhere between the 19th and 20th century, they turned it into a soft G when it was originally pronounced with a hard G. And
it depends which country you're from. Because
Ireland.
the French would say Gerard, the Germans would say Gerald.
My aunt is Irish, my great aunt. And she's the one who named my father, gave the same name to my dad, and then thus also I inherited from my father. And it's led to a lot of arguments. Because he wanted me to name one of my kids, and I'm like, no. And screw you for naming me this. I have been tormented by this name my entire life. You know, all you had to do is go Gerry. That's it. And I would have never been tormented. But no, you had to say it's Gerry. God love you, Dad. You son of a bitch.
You did make it a second name for one of your sons.
I gave it to my middle child, Sean Patrick Gerry, spelled the same way. And it pissed my dad off. It really did. He got really angry at me over it. Which means I giggled a lot.
You're so messed up.
But my grandfather was also, but he spelled or pronounced it Gerald. Yeah. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just weird the way it transitioned. It was like a sudden thing. And I'm assuming somebody famous said it, and then everybody goes, "Oh, we've been saying it wrong," and then started pronouncing it the new way. So let's get into Hello Tomorrow. What episode are we on that one? That's 4?
Episode 3. No, 3.
3.
And it starts with the team dealing with all the crazy sales after Shirley put that ad on at the game. Because stuff is blowing up, and they're having a competition. Who is the top salesman? And Joey is second after Ed, who is first, of course, because he's desperate to get money to pay off his debts from gambling.
And I love the fact, by the way, that you pointed out that I guessed correctly on some things in the story so far. Because, once again, I understand storytelling and structure. And I want to point out that we are moving in a direction with this story. And I like that. I like where we're headed with this story. The classic make the lie the truth.
Yeah, we just caught up with the newest episode, and he was so right. You called it. You called it early on. And it is going into that direction now.
This is the kind of writing I enjoy. I enjoy character studies. which is he's a salesman that hates, because when you finally get to the episode of his backstory, the dad's backstory, I really love that episode. And that is the transitional episode where we begin. That? What's that?
Which episode was that?
That's later. We don't need to get into it. So let's get into this one. We open with they're in competition for who's going to get top salesman.
Because they have a lot of work to do because of that ad that Shirley did at the game. Everybody saw it. Everybody heard it. Everybody is interested in buying property on the moon. They are crazy busy, which makes Jack anxious because he's a con man and he knows we can't stay. We need to move on. We can't just stay here and blow the business up, which Shirley wants to do because she thinks it's a good thing. Not a breach.
Yeah, I saw it. I started. I'll get to
pretty
it.
weak. That's a pretty weak breach, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
Come on, Bush. We expect better from you than that.
Yeah.
If Monkey's not here, someone's got to pick up the baton.
Well, Monkey is very motivated sometimes.
Abdulio's in the house.
Hey, Abdulio!
We did that in the first hour.
Yeah, you missed it. I'm sorry, Abdulio. We did the first hour was Mandalorian in 1923. Well, I only mentioned Yellowstone in passing, talking about the way Taylor Sheridan writes his relationships. Like with, is it Rip? Is that his name? Rip, the cowboy in Yellowstone.
I don't know.
I think his name is Rip.
Yellowstone.
It's Cole Hauser's character, and the dynamic of his relationship with Beth has been so interesting. But at some point, he has to find normalization. And he's doing that. He's trying to find, Rip Wheeler, one of the single best characters I think Taylor Sheridan ever created, and I think a lot of that goes to Cole Hauser and how he plays that character. Woo! What a character! Anima hasn't gotten to the season yet with the incident in her office when they try to kill her, Beth, and what happens in that. And you fall in love with Rip.
No, I think I've only seen 3 episodes or so.
I don't want to ruin it. Ruin it, Brian. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Don't ruin it for me.
Yellowstone is absolutely brilliant. Now, I did try to introduce her to the mayor of Kingstown, but I suspected it wasn't going to be her cup of tea.
It is,
and it
not.
wasn't. She likes the Western cowboy aspect of the other shows. That is way too organized crime and all that shit. And it just, Anima just doesn't engage with it. She sees where it's good. She recognizes the good writing, similar writing, but, dude, no, don't even go there, Bush. I'm going to tell you something. I was in season 2 before I realized that was Cole Hauser. And because he had become a star because of the show. And all of a sudden I started thinking, like, Cole Hauser's in there? What does he play? And I saw who it was. And I remember my eyes went, what?
Well, he does look different from his private looks.
He looks nothing. Because
Yeah.
he's a good looking dude. He doesn't have the crazy eyes like his dad. His dad looks insane. Wings Hauser. No eyebrows, dude. He has no eyebrows. So when he does the crazy eyes, he looks insane. Whereas Cole got his mother's looks. And you can see he got his mother's good looks.
Absolutely. And the way they style him as a cowboy, it works.
He's so badass.
I dig it.
Unfortunately, Scooby and Crypto movie was taken down from... Oh, man. I'll look for it, Abdulio. I'm going to go look for it because I really do want to see that. But let's do this real quick. Get out of the way. We have another breach.
Front door team and back door team.
You know Scandog's all about the back door, but quick question, when has splitting the party ever worked?
There you go. That was for Bush.
And for those for those that don't know, splitting the party never works.
No, it never works.
Nope.
It's always a bad idea. We learned that with Scooby-Doo. And And it was German still uses a hard G when they pronounce it. So, Geralt. And that's where my name comes from. And somewhere along the lines, it got a soft G. So there you go. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look that shit up, man. Dang it. No, it's absolutely it is, and I explained that they took The Sopranos and made it about actual family for the most part, where it's a mobster show like The Sopranos. It really is, where people, when they get taken to the train station, it is just their version of saying they got to be whacked. So anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so as they are in the sales competition, Myrtle shows up, the blonde woman who burned down her house, and pulls Herb out.
Another actor that has crazy eyes.
Oh, she is absolutely established as the crazy woman in this episode. Because Herb makes her sign all these papers and tells her, yeah, you're going to be on the next launch. It's only a couple months away. And that's when she freezes and freaks out.
Because she burned her house down.
Yeah, she's like, I have nowhere to go. I need to
with
go
her
to the
husband
moon
inside.
now. Oh, yeah. Well, we don't know if he died, but we see him
Well, we need
inside.
to find out, because that's important, because she may be in trouble.
She absolutely is.
I mean, she committed a crime to begin with.
Because she thought that she would be on the way to the moon the next day.
And you know what? It's the irony is, you think that the salesman, the young black salesman, had nailed it with her being like in an abusive relationship. But that's not what we're finding out, is that she was bored with her husband.
And he was cheating.
Yeah.
Because when they are at the house in the first place, him and Ed trying to sell, they think they're selling to husband and wife, and then they see the photograph, the wedding photograph, and realize they are talking to him and his mistress. That's why Herb goes back, because he has a bad conscience. And he tells her, your husband is cheating. We've seen the mistress earlier that day. And he tells her the property on the moon as a way out of her marriage. We learned later that she married way too young too. So she has nowhere to go, so he agrees to let her sleep in his room at the hotel for the next night at least, because it's the only thing he can do in this moment. They call it a night. Joey and Jack are outside the hotel and they see a rocket launched to the moon, and Jack makes it look like it's one of theirs. Has to be, of course. And Joey wants to go visit his mom before going home. It's really late, but Jack makes him stay at the hotel. And he wants him to go with them to hit the road the next day, go to the next town to sell. But Joey isn't having it. He's like, I can't leave my mom. She's in a coma. So Jack's mother keeps pressuring him. Let me meet Joey. Let me meet Joey. When am I meeting Joey? I know you're about to leave Vistaville, and I still haven't met Joey. So she's a big pain in his ass.
She's a domineering character.
Oh, yes, very overbearing mother, which Jack uses later on, because he tells Joey, if you don't leave your mother, you will eventually hate her for making you stuck.
You'll resent her, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that does the trick. But anyway, Shaw keeps pitching ideas to make bigger sales, and Jack is really getting nervous because he knows we need to finish here. We're done, and we need to move on, because he doesn't want the lie to be caught. They can't stay in a place for too long. And he tries to bribe Joey with a new car. You get a new car if you come with us. And Joey is really hesitant. He doesn't want to leave his mom. So he rejects the car. But Jack isn't giving up. Ed, of course, is visited by the guy whom he owes money and hurt again, because that's what he does.
Right.
He keeps getting in trouble because he doesn't handle money well. And then we get a really funny scene where Myrtle tries to call the Brightside customer hotline to complain. And
she's on there like forever.
For hours, yeah. and telling
She
her whole
leaves this
life
really
story.
long message.
Yeah. I got married at 17. That was my first mistake, and blah blah blah. And
Yeah, she just goes into her whole story. It's funny as hell.
and it establishes her as really crazy.
She's out of her mind. She is
Absolutely.
absolutely out of her gourd. And basically, you get a crazy Karen, you've got a problem.
She is absolutely a Karen. But you feel kind of sorry for her when she's talking to a machine. She's not even talking to a person. And at the end, it says recording failed or something like that. So it's all, she's been talking to a wall, basically. No one's interested. It's sad and funny. Cheryl gets a visit by the weird lawyer guy. Because of the ad that she made and put out like really publicly, there are some forms that they need to fill out to prove what they are selling, basically. And they have a 16-hour window, but she's not having any of it. She tells him to F off, basically, because she's had a long day at work filling out forms, and he's coming to her with more forms, and they're leaving Vistable anyway, and that's where his jurisdiction is. So once they leave, he doesn't have anything on them. So she's trying to get out of that. And the guy, I don't know what he has got going on, but he speaks in a weird way. It is just so funny how he talks.
Yes, Anima has notes.
She
takes notes.
She has notes for her notes.
My notes of notes.
Yeah, it's sort of like the way I used to do Post-it notes. I would put Post-it notes up to remind me to read the other Post-it notes. Don't forget to read that one.
What? You're weird.
That's what's in the new Vikings, that screenplay. And I didn't write that scene. Actually, that was written by Mac, because Mac had observed that and thought that was hilarious that I did that. And it led to a funny moment.
TIE fighter? What?
LOL looks like a TIE fighter.
Yeah, but Bush make he's more like a TIE fighter than yours. And that's why he's saying that.
My grammar's not wrong. I don't understand that. The joke doesn't. I don't get the joke. I don't always get every joke.
No. What is
literal?
He didn't use an O per se, but the numeral symbol. So the cockpit is more centered.
Oh, he's using this. Okay, he's doing this. Yeah.
I'm lost.
That's what he did.
Okay.
We're in the deep end of nerdiness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I just think that LOL looks like a TIE fighter when it's lowercase. It's just funny.
I keep telling you guys, I'm not worthy of being with you nerds. I'm not as nerdy.
Not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Exactly. Not nerdy enough.
Well, I'm enjoying my fuel up right now. It's yummy. For those of you that have not tried Fuel Up Wake, I'm actually really liking all three of them. I actually started drinking even the rest at night, and I'm feeling it. When I wake up in the morning, I feel better, feel more rested. It's
You're still up half the night, though.
That has nothing to do with anything other than work. It's not because I want to be, or, I can't sleep. It's because I have to work around the clock. So I like notes. Show prep is always appreciated. Absolutely, John. It helps a lot. I don't have time to write notes because when note writing should be taking place, I'm doing other work. I have to work around the clock. When I'm awake, I'm working. So it sucks. And but anyway, where were we?
Jack goes to visit Joey at his house and helps him fix the garage door. where his mother had the accident.
And paint it, yeah. That's
Yeah,
a good
and
scene.
They talk, and that's where he tells him, if you don't leave your mom, you will end up hating her for being stuck in this house. And Joey tells him, yeah, you're right. If she has a say in it, she would want me to stay in this house for my whole life, and I don't want to. So he agrees he will go travel with them.
Yeah, I like that. And good morning, Andy Morrow in the UK. How are you doing, my friend?
He's going old dad on Joey, but
Technically,
still not
it'd be
telling
good
him.
afternoon, but close enough.
By the way, just thought to let you know, Monkey said he saw Bill Barkley in another chat on another show. I think it might have been Midnight Edge. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I've seen him around.
And I'm like,
He's just avoiding us.
I don't know why. I wish he wouldn't. I don't know what's up with that. I miss him being around.
Yeah, I don't know what we did to him to make him leave.
Oh, nothing. I don't even want to talk about that publicly. Please don't do that. I just miss him. I wish he would come back. After listening to a couple of Keith and Das Wolfen shows, I came to a new understanding of nerd knowledge. Their kung fu is so strong, I can step into their dojo. Roger that.
Yeah, the one show that Keith did 2 weeks ago over on Rumble has over 2K views. It's crazy.
Yeah. The best science fiction novels, his top 10 list. I wouldn't mind doing stuff like that, but I don't have time to prep. If I had a team where I could do stuff like that, it would be great, but we're not there.
We'll get there.
I don't know.
I hope
but greetings in the UK, Andy. Good to see you, man. Yeah, absolutely. So,
and it is afternoon where Andy is. It's 4:30.
Yeah, it's 6 hours from now.
No, 5. We're not on daylight savings yet.
Yeah.
The UK is +5 and I'm +6.
I wish they would just do away with it. It's unnecessary.
Oh.
Arizona doesn't recognize it.
It's so weird. It's either the whole world or nobody. But the way it is done right now, it's just messed up.
And there's agriculture in Arizona. It's not necessary anymore. We left that like 50 years ago.
I'd say 100.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I would go back 50. Because there's still a lot of farming going on and family-oriented farming. And it's just not there anymore. It's corporate now. So it's not essential.
European Union has discussions about it, and they never reach a point. They're just discussing, and they're not doing anything.
There's probably more in Europe. There's probably more family farming than there is here. I would put money on that. It's
but
just
even to
not,
them, it doesn't matter.
it's not essential.
No.
Because we're getting into a rabbit hole I don't really want to go down. It's not essential. So where were we?
Well, we see Myrtle go full crazy because she goes to find Herb in his hotel room and freaks out on him while he's on a video call with his wife. And she's seen a scarf that she left on his bed earlier, so she suspects he's cheating anyway. And then Myrtle comes bursting into the room, and she's like, "I knew it! You're cheating on me!" So Herb is stuck between the two women, and it's a really awkward situation. And yeah, Karen, she is a full-blown Karen. But there's nothing they can do because there are no launches.
Yeah, and we're building up to the first incident that involves a launch date, where this is the problem with when you're fabricating stuff, that you keep having to have you have what's called compounded lies, and the lie, eventually you're going to forget something, and that's what ends up happening. But we'll get there. So now we're into the last part of the episode. What happens here?
Jack takes Joey to meet his mom, finally. Who, of course, she can't tell Joey that she's his grandmother, but she does hug him, and he's like, whoa, please, it's his first week on the job. Don't overwhelm the boy. She takes Jack to the side and she's mad at him for not telling him the truth. And for making Joey travel with them. She's furious about that. And after that, Jack goes to visit Joey's mom, his ex-wife, in the hospital, just to tell her how awesome Joey turned out and how good of a job she did raising him. It's kind of a touching moment because a hospital robot comes by and says, visiting hours are for family only. And he says, I'm her husband. And you wonder where that is going because she's still in a coma. We don't know. Does she hear him or not? So.
Yeah.
And the last scene is Myrtle in a diner, of course, complaining about her food. And the lawyer guy is there too. And they start
is he a
talking.
lawyer or an accountant? I can't remember.
I don't
what it
know.
is.
I don't
think
really
he's an
know. But
accountant.
he has this floating
he's a forensic
suitcase
accountant.
that he commands like a dog, and it has all these forms and stuff. And she starts complaining to him that she's been on a customer service call for hours and nobody even cares about her. And he is setting her up. He gives her a form to fill out and says, no, I care for you. Customers have rights. So.
Yeah, I got a feeling that they're going to run off together by the end of the season.
That would be funny.
Because I think he's obsessed and she's crazy. So they're both crazy.
They are both, yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't mean they're wrong, though.
Oh, not
because through their craziness, they see something's wrong with this company. But once again, I believe that this is one of those stories where the main character, the protagonist, is the head of the sales for this company. And as you find out in the forthcoming episode, that there's a reason that he did what he did. But the problem is it's a lie. And he's got to find a way to make the lie the truth.
Oh, look,
there he is.
Point.
Monkey
Where have you
Jeebus.
been, Jeebus?
Good Googa Mooga, man. We're all missing him.
So who
Were you buying toys, Monkey?
So who sacrificed the Power Rangers to summon Monkey?
But and that's the end of the episode, isn't it?
Yeah, she's lawyered up now.
Sort of with that character because, but it in the next episode it backfires a little bit, and it leads to a decision being made by one character. I don't want to get into it until next week.
Yeah, don't give anything away.
I really do like the way this show is written. And I keep telling people this is, Apple TV is the streaming service you should be watching.
You know that this episode got a lot of criticism for dragging it out and not moving along with the story, and I don't understand it. I really don't.
I
I'm
think
enjoying
it's
it.
weird when people do that. I think that this show is unraveling at a pace that I think is good. It's a good pace because something is revealed every episode. Every episode, something new is revealed. And I love that. I love this kind of writing. I don't know if this show is going to get a second because Apple doesn't have the numbers that other streaming services and networks have. And I wish it got more because there's a good chance of losing really good shows. I like For All Mankind. It's a little woke, but it's woke in a way that I'm like, I say it all the time. You write me a good story, I'll watch your woke shit.
Yeah.
And I'm entertained by what they're doing. I like what they're doing. And I think that their wokeness is done in really a believable, realistic manner. That if things had happened where the Russians beat us to the moon, it would have been a whole different game. And it's compelling. I mean, we have a freaking firefight on the moon between the Russians and Americans. And I mean, that shit was intense. I like that show. I really do.
Well, with this show, I like how you see Jack getting deeper and deeper into it. And you wonder when it's all going to blow up. And I mean, we're caught up, so we know that Joey at some point finds out that they are selling
it's two fuses. burning.
You just
One will prevent the explosion by putting out the other one, or
Yeah.
the other one goes to the bomb. And so, which one will hit its mark?
What's really
And-
having me on the edge of my seat is when is Joey going to find out that Jack is his father, and how is he going to react? And it hasn't happened yet, so it will happen eventually.
I want to share something real quick here because Patrick Olaf is a good friend of mine, and I want to get him on our show. We had him scheduled once, and then things went south because of once again medical family emergency on Keith's part. So I ended up postponing him, and I've got to get him on. But this guy is an amazing artist, friend of mine, and his work on this cover is really cool. This is the black and white work, and that's the fully covered cover that he did. And I told him, I said, that's really one of my favorite styles of covers, and I used the exact same one when I did my cover for the Exorcist Academy comic, where you use the black in an outfit to tell the visual story of other stuff that's happening. And it's a technique, and I like that technique.
That looks really cool. Hi, Sax.
But look at that. I mean, his artwork is so good. I love
like
his
black and white better than the colored one.
I still like the color one too, but the black and white artwork is beautiful.
I just love black and white. With your stuff too.
And see what he's doing here. I'll open this up. Open image in a new tab. Go to that image. He's using ink dots. And Zipatone is what we used to use back in the 80s and 90s. But now you can do it digitally. I don't know. I'll ask him if he's using Zipatone, because I've seen Graham Nolan do it too. But Graham does a lot of his work digitally now too, like I do. And he uses, because it's easy to make Zipatone. You can just, there's actually a filter in Photoshop where you can create your own Zipatone. You can have the solid dots like this or gradient dots, where it's thicker and then the dots are bigger, thicker. Yeah, it sounds gross saying it that way. Thicker. It's the girth that matters, not the length. That gradually the dot matrix gets smaller, showing gradient shading. It's really cool, and I love the way he did that face. And that's his own mustache. I guarantee you. I'll ask him. So,
really?
Yeah, Patrick has a mustache. Big old thick mustache. Old school mustache. But beautiful artist. Got to get him on TGIF. This afternoon, we got Ryan Smith. He is a filmmaker that just so happens to live right here in Springfield, Missouri. He has a little film called Eldritch, USA, which of course is based on the fictional town of Eldritch, which is part of the Cthulhu mythos. And so it is a absolutely H.P. Lovecraftian horror story that is horror, comedy, musical.
The trailers, I saw both of them, and they are so crazy.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, I think that
one's
might be
more
a little too
dramatic,
crazy for me.
dark, and the other one's just lighthearted and it's funny. And I enjoy both the trailers. We're going to have the trailers, premiere the trailers on the show this afternoon. I'm really looking forward to it this afternoon, having
It's
him
going
on.
to be fun.
And then, of course, Kieran will be here this afternoon. Wait, what is this? Oh, crud. I forgot. I have to send Kieran his invite for the show this afternoon.
Way
Whoops.
to go, Gary. You want the guest and
Yeah.
you don't send him the invite. That's
Well,
how you do it.
once again, I'm doing 1,000,000,006 things and I forget shit. I hate that, but it does. It happens. So there we go. I'm sending an invite right now on my desk. So, Kieran, your invite is in the mail. There you go, as Jack Burton would say. Yes, sir. That check is in the mail. So, All right. Well, we're in the last part of the episode here, and anything we want to talk about before we go? Anybody in the chat want us to talk about anything in particular? Like, I know that everybody's real excited about talking about Yellowstone. We should probably dedicate an entire episode to just talking about Yellowstone.
That'd
We
be a
should.
good.
I have to watch it first, though.
That'd be a good Saturday show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really would
yeah.
be. Because
But I think Saturdays are set up all the way into June. Gerry went a little crazy on that.
I can bump a show to move one forward. I did that for Bill because Bill wanted to talk about John Wick, and I'm like, yeah, we should talk about it before the new movie comes out. We've got Shazam is in theaters right now. Shazam: Fury of the Gods. I'm going to watch it. See if that's any good. I'm hearing some people saying, yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's not as good as the first film. And I'm like, well, I had problems with the first film. But so, okay. I don't know. Looking forward to seeing it. I'm also looking forward to seeing what else just came out this week. Something else. Luther came out. I meant to watch it. Haven't had a chance to see the new Luther film. Anything else come out this week, guys?
Well, it doesn't come out until March 31st, technically, but there's if you look online, Amazon Prime is having an early showing in places around the country. It's like 1,400 theaters that are showing the D&D movie early.
Oh,
so,
well, they got to do something to, because they admitted that the writers admitted that they intentionally emasculated the main character played by Chris Pine. And I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're self-sabotaging, killing part of your audience interest.
Well, I'm going to see it.
And it's not just men. That's a lot of women. They don't want to watch men be emasculated.
No.
They want to see a masculine man.
Hey, Gerry.
Yeah, man.
Bush is telling me that he's muted.
I didn't do it.
I didn't mute it. I didn't do it.
So, any of you know how to check on that?
I can go to YouTube and do that. You have access to it too, Betty.
Yeah, but
in YouTube Studio.
Yeah, John, I keep hearing rumors about it, but I haven't heard anything concrete about a Mountains of Madness movie. It's been rumored for a long time.
Yeah, that Del Toro was involved. Is it under settings? I think it's under settings, right? Users, community. Here we go.
So I won't be here for the Sunday wrestling show because I will be too busy going to see Dungeons & Dragons. So. And I know a lot of people are not sold on it. I'm going because I'm excited about the book Accurate Monsters, and the there's a cameo by the animated.
I'm sorry, John. Now he's telling me that our channel doesn't even show in his subscriptions.
Yeah, YouTube does that. YouTube unsubscribes people. It's happened to me.
Yeah, I'm looking in here and I'm not seeing him in here in the filters.
Make sure he's subscribed. Make sure if he isn't, have him resubscribe.
That is really weird. Yeah, I'm not seeing him in here.
What is going on?
What? He's asking me if he's blocked. I said, am I blocked? I closed the window and relogged, and I can't get back. What the freak?
Yeah, I am looking, and I do not see him blocked. I'm just telling you right now, he's not in there. And all you got to do is go to the studio, Martin. You can look yourself.
Yeah.
Go to the studio, scroll down on the left menu to settings, and then when it opens up, you'll see community. And you go in there and you look in the community section. I am not seeing him in there.
Okay, he's restarting his phone. Oh, oh, that is weird even for you too.
But that's something, definitely something going on his end, not on ours.
YouTube has been glitching a lot lately. They had a whole incident where, for a while, mods couldn't approve or disapprove comments.
Yeah, that happens.
Really?
That happened to me. Tuesday? I couldn't approve comments.
That's weird.
Yeah, he is nowhere in there. You can look if you want to. What you do is you scroll once you get to community. You scroll down. It says hidden users. These are people that are blocked or banned, and he's not in there.
Well, let's wait till his phone has restarted.
What a mess.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle's here though. Morning, buddy.
I said hi to him a while ago.
Yeah,
I still see him. See him. There he is.
No, but that was way before.
Oh, then I'm not. If he said something after that, I'm not seeing it. And Pacific 414 is here.
He's speaking to me via Twitter DMs.
Oh, sucks. Yeah. I always see you when you come in.
Phrasing.
What?
Okay, that was a bit of a stretch there, Martine.
Yeah.
Dude, I have to use any chance I have.
Get your shit together.
You haven't given me any chance lately.
Yeah, well.
Boosh, try taking off your shirt.
What?
Oh, no, he's back. He's back.
See? Taking off the shirt works.
Oh my God, I love it. So in theaters right now, we got 65, Cocaine Bear. Anima and I watched that. It was fun.
It is a bit silly, but it is fun.
It's stupid, but it's fun. I think I agree with Tom and Script Doctor that it would have benefited from one last rewrite and tightening up on the comedy, or maybe even on the set rewrite of some of the comedy, because a lot of the jokes fell flat. But I really did enjoy the film. Elizabeth Banks proved that if she's not being overly political, she can actually direct a fun film. So that's a lesson to be learned there. But no, she's not going to learn. She's Hollywood. Hollywood can't learn. They're incapable of learning. So there you go. You have the new John Wick coming out. Creed 3 is out. Let's see.
Are we going to do our thing, Gerry? And go and see John Wick at the same time?
I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Like we did with Black Adam. That was fun.
Let's see. I watched Puss in Boots, and I really did like the new Puss in Boots film.
65 was okay, but had a lot of problems.
I saw the first 10 minutes and didn't have time to watch the rest of it. It's just I don't have very much time.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of stuff.
Operation Fortune, really good film. With Jason Statham, Hugh Grant, good action comedy. I watched Knock at the Cabin. It's a good film. It's not
I
great.
liked it.
It's not great. It's good. It's better than the book.
It's a good disaster film.
The apocalyptic film, more
Yeah.
than just disaster. It's an apocalypse film. And I think the ending of the film was done in a better way than that in the book. They changed the ending for the film, and I think it works better. The ending of the film shows that the two gay characters are too selfish to save the world.
Yeah.
They're too self-absorbed to save the world. And so the world is destroyed in the book. In the film, something else happens. And I thought it was a much better written ending. So I think he did a good job. I think it's good to see him not doing the classic twist ending that he likes to freaking do. You know, he was dead all along.
Yeah.
It's like, look, man, once JJ does that mystery box thing, it's no longer a mystery box. It becomes cliche.
Well, this was M. Night Shyamalan.
I know that.
Okay.
I'm making an explanation of the mystery box.
Okay.
Because that's what he's doing. It's cliche. Once you've done it, it becomes cliche. And you can't keep doing that and put out quality films. It's like Twilight Zone didn't always end with that kind of ending, the twist. And that's what he did. He got it from Rod Serling. And so he kept doing the Rod Serling twist ending. It's like, okay, you can stop now and just write an ending. But it's like, it's my thing. It's my signature. That should never be any. That's like JJ claiming the mystery box as his signature. Well, it's a dumb thing to fucking attach yourself to.
Well, it's like some of his twists are really stupid, and they really hurt a good movie. Like Signs, for example.
Yeah.
The twist is they're allergic to water. You landed on a planet that's 70% water. What the hell?
And the problem is this, that as much as I enjoyed that film, and I really do enjoy that film, the ending was very disappointing and the twist was disappointing. But the whole thing was, it is an analogy. It is a metaphor for faith. That's all it was. It's a story about faith. And by the end of the film, Mel Gibson's character has his faith restored. And that's really and I'm like, the ride should have been better. The ride should have been better. I still list it as one of my favorite Shyamalan films. Number one being Sixth Sense, second favorite, Unbreakable. And number three is that one.
Unbreakable's my favorite.
And then was it Splice or Split, whatever it's called? Splice.
Split.
Splice
is that.
Split was his split personalities.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really good film. The follow-up to it and Unbreakable, very bad. Terrible film.
Yeah, Glass.
Yeah, everything falls into place at the end.
Then there was The Village. It's like, it's in modern times. Well, duh.
I hated that movie. It's a huge letdown because we wanted a monster movie. And it's not.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a meh film.
The disappointment is the monster.
True. It's true.
Speaking of monster movies, sad. I haven't watched it yet, but I got The Lake from Thailand.
I was very disappointed. I hate that ending.
By the way, I
watched it.
I forgot to mention when we were talking about Apple TV. You know that the Quantum Terror is now in Apple TV.
Yeah, I promoted it. Whenever he posts anything like that, I always share and make sure that it's out there. I care about what's going on with Chris. And his film is now, Quantum Terror is available on Apple TV. So anything that helps him make money, man.
Yep.
Artists have a right to stay alive, and I hate it when people go, "Oh man, I liked you until you wanted money." Really? You know, I do this because out of love for what I love. I love doing nerd stuff. But if I'm going to work 40 plus hours a week on something, I better make something off of it so I can survive. And people that have a problem with that are weird to me. It's weird to have a problem with people
I've
doing
been
that.
hearing a lot of people as of lately saying stupid shit like that about others. Oh,
Or
he only does that for the money. Food costs money.
Yeah,
I
on
hate it
average,
when people argue you love doing that, so it's not work. I mean,
Yeah.
hello? What the F is wrong with you? It is work.
it's ridiculous.
Or the people says, "Oh yeah, I'll give you exposure."
Oh yeah, that's when it gets really ridiculous.
I'm like, yeah, I've had people do that with me as an artist. And I look at him and I said, what are you talking about? I have a marketing background. I don't need your help. I know how to market myself. I don't market myself because I don't want to get overworked. You know,
Yeah, also
and
exposure doesn't buy me food or pay my rent. So
yeah,
kindly
yeah.
F off with that.
Man, I the exposure, my kid was able to live a whole week on that. Not, you know.
Yeah, give me a tangible product, and I will give you a chance for something.
You know, I don't want to get rich off of what I do. I'm very funny about getting rich. I want to sell my ideas to get wealthy off of. But when I do stuff that I love to do, I just want to get by. I want to be comfortable and not be stressing. And I'm always stressing, you know, because I don't make very much. 40 hours a week plus doing these shows. And plus the work I do as an artist. And it's a struggle. And I like doing it, though. And it's a struggle that I've always liked. I've always liked being a struggling artist. I don't know why. I tell every woman, you know, yeah, going out with an artist sounds awesome until you're living with us. Have fun with that. And they never do. And it's like, I get stupid things like, when are you coming to bed? When I'm done working.
And there's a reason why they call them starving artists.
You know, I still get shit from you. Don't even say that you did it this show. It's like, will you stay up late? It's because I'm working. When am I going to work? I have to work. It's like it's an ongoing thing. And eventually, I'm not going to be able to work because of the nerve damage. You know, it's like used to be just these two fingers. Now all my fingers are numb. Since I started doing the show, all my fingers are numb. All the time. And I do get overrun. And when little things happen, like with the situation with Keith, it's like, I don't want to replace him. Because I don't want to replace Keith, but I have to. Because this week we missed Wednesday because Dawn was sick. And Keith is out on Thursday. So now Brian's going to move into Thursday, and then I got to cover Tuesday. And I was talking to this one gentleman. I wish we could have brought him on. Well, we'll probably have him on still because I really like the guy's videos. And Roman of the Empire is his name. It's really, really good show. Hardly anybody watches him. And I will be promoting him because I think he's got a good channel. And probably get him involved with our Friday and Saturday shows, but he can't get up early enough because he's got a special needs child, and the time that he would be doing the show on Tuesday, he's got to take care of his kid.
That would be 8 a.m. for him too. So
I said that 8 a.m. is because he lives on the left coast. So it's sad. Roman of the Empire probably most likely will not be doing Tuesdays unless we find a way for him to do it. I don't know how. So I'm still got to find somebody that's capable of handling that and is going to stick with it. Can't be dropping. I can't keep doing that because it messes with KGRA when we have hosts dropping left and right, and it's like we got to get more of a commitment, long-term commitment. Put a ring on that damn finger. I love Fuel Up. Yummy, yummy, yummy. But Joe says, no doubt, Gary, you got to keep a steady pace. Don't get overrun. And it's true. I try, having Tuesdays and Thursdays now to do artwork has helped me a lot. and I'm starting to get caught up on work. I'm still behind. But I feel like I see the light at the end of the tunnel for getting caught up, because that's how much time was going into doing these shows. And that's why, I have to have something to show for it. When I put that kind of hours into something, if I was married, my woman would have left me over that, how much time I put into the shows. And, but I'm committed to doing these shows. I like waking up in the morning, no matter how cranky or in pain I am. When I get up, I actually look forward to this, especially Wednesday. I love hanging out with Don. And I've hit a point with Don to where if he's sick, I don't want to do the show, because I just love doing the show with him. I like hanging out with Don.
He's cool.
Don is just fun. When you see us bantering, I am so enjoying myself. I am so in the moment with him. And I think he feels the same way. We enjoy that banter we have with each other. Those sons of bitches.
It's fun when you go off like that.
Monkey, he is absolutely on my radar, but he's so freaking busy. I'm apprehensive to talk to him. But, I really should, because I am in a pickle. I am. And if you guys have somebody that you think can handle this kind of show, because you have to be on your game at all times during these shows. You have to know how to be Merv Griffin, Johnny Carson, what have you. You've got to have that mindset of managing a show live. And Mark is potentially one of those people. And you guys know I shit on him all the time because he's my friend. Whenever I'm on Toxic Tuesday, I miss doing Toxic Tuesday. I get messages from Nick, I miss you, man. I'm like, I miss you too. I love being on that show. I love hanging out with those guys, doing the toxic masculinity stuff. It's fun. Because I'm a toxic male. I absolutely am. I am absolutely, somebody would refer to me as a sexist. And it's true. Because even though I absolutely admire and respect women in the workplace, I really do. I have had some amazing bosses who are women. They were great bosses. And I believe in absolute equality. When it comes down to being masculine, yeah, I'm going to be masculine about things and approach things from a manly point and not be embarrassed about it, ashamed of it, or apologize for it. It's ridiculous. Why you apologize for who you are? It's dumb. Who apologizes for who they are? Not this guy. What's got two thumbs and don't give a shit? This guy. So we are at the end of the show. I want to thank everybody for being here today. I'm glad Monkey showed up last minute. I appreciate it, man. And anybody who's got any insight onto who could handle Tuesdays, let me know. I'm really disappointed that Roman couldn't do it because I really like this guy. I like the cut of his jib. But I want to thank Penny for being here. I want to thank D. Bud Martin, Orlando Dragon, Alex Moore, John Ostains, Midnight's Edge After Dark, Tom, Boosh McFadden, Joe's Atmosphere, Abdulio, Dragon Ruse, Andy Morrow, Monkajibus, thank you, come again, Zax, a.k.a. Kyle, Pacific 414, and Bill writes it like a name, 5 minutos. ¿Cuánto tiempo, por favor? I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you, Anna, for helping run the show today. Martin, thank you for just being you. You're so awesome. John, thank you. You threw a real big moment into the show today, and it was really awesome. That was rocket fuel that you threw in. Good stuff, man. Thanks for being here, and you will see us in about an hour on TGIF. We'll have Kieran Bug there to talk about the latest Geekosity news and rumors, and then we're going to have Ryan Smith, filmmaker, with a really interesting movie to promote. Hope to see you guys there. Cubs win. Cubs win.